In today's topic, we will discuss about current asset movement and which ratios are used to analyze the movement of current assets. The ratios that we discuss today are working capital ratio or activity ratio or efficiency ratio. These ratios include stock turnover ratio, debtors are receivable turnover ratio, creditors are payable turnover ratio. In these ratios, we will discuss the interpretation of these ratios. We will explain each ratio with example and we will talk about their benefits and shortcomings. Current assets movement or working capital ratio or activity ratio or efficiency ratio. Determination of the rate at which various short-term assets are converted into cash. The one dimension of liquidity analysis indicates the adequacy of current assets for meeting current liabilities, while the other dimension of liquidity is the determination of rate at which various short-term assets are converted into cash. Activity ratio measures the efficiency or effectiveness with which a company manages its resources or assets. The efficiency with which the assets are managed affect the company's sales and profit. These ratios are also called turnover ratio because they indicate the speed with which assets are converted into sales. So the creditors and investors check the liquidity ratio together with these efficiency ratios while making a decision about company's liquidity. Inventory or stock turnover ratio. Inventory or stock turnover ratio measures how efficiently a company is able to manage its inventory. Every company maintains a certain level of inventory of finished goods to meet the requirement of business, but this level of inventory should neither be too high nor too low. The formula of inventory or stock turnover ratio is as follows. Inventory turnover ratio is equal to cost of sales divided by average inventory at cost. Inventory turnover ratio is calculated by dividing the cost of sales by cost of average inventory during that period. Inventory turnover ratio indicates the number of times the stock has been turned over during the period and evaluates the efficiency with which a company is able to manage its inventory. Now we will illustrate the inventory or stock turnover ratio with example. The cost of goods sold is rupees 5 lakh. The opening stock is rupees 40,000 and the closing stock is rupees 60,000. Inventory turnover ratio is equal to 5 lakh divided by 50,000 is equal to 10 times. Here we will calculate the average inventory by adding the opening stock and closing stock and then dividing it by 2. Inventory turnover ratio of 10 means that the stock has been turned over 10 times during the year. Inventory or stock days. Inventory days refer to the number of days it takes for inventory to turn into sales. Low inventory days are preferred. The average inventory days varies from industry to industry, but generally a low inventory days are preferred as it indicates optimal inventory management. The formula of inventory or stock days is as follows. 360 multiplied by inventory divided by cost of sales. From our previous example, we will calculate the stock days as follows. 360 multiply 50,000 divided by 5 lakh is equal to 36 days. This means the company takes 36 days for inventory to turn into sales. If the company B takes 50 days to turn its inventory into sale, then the low inventory days should be better. Why low inventory days better? The benefits of having low inventory days are as follows. Low holding cost. Holding cost is related to the storage of inventory that remains unsold. A company holding cost include the price of goods damaged or spoiled as well as that of storage, space, labor and insurance. So if our inventory days will be low, then our holding cost will also be low. Low risk of expiry. If our inventory days will be low, then there will be a low risk that our goods will be reached to expiry date. Low risk of damage. If our inventory days will be low, then there will be a low risk that our goods will get damaged and lose its value and usefulness. Cash will not tied up. If our inventory days will be low, then our cash will not tied up for a long period of time, and after selling the inventory we can use our cash elsewhere. The shortcomings of having a low inventory days are as follows. Stock out. If our inventory days will be low, then the disadvantage is that we will not be able to sell the goods when there is a demand. Debtors or receivable turnover ratio. Debtors or receivable turnover ratio measures how efficiently a company is able to manage its credit sales and convert its account receivables or debtors into cash. It indicates the number of times average debtors or receivables are turned over during a year. The formula of debtors or receivable turnover ratio is as follows. Debtors turnover ratio is equal to credit sales divided by average debtors. Debtors turnover ratio is calculated by dividing the credit sales by average debtors. The trade debtors include the amount of both trade debtors and bill receivables. Average receivables will be calculated by adding the opening balances and closing balances and dividing the total by 2. Provision for bad and doubtful debts should not be deducted because it may give an impression that some amount of receivables has been collected. Now we will illustrate the debtors or receivable turnover ratio with example. Credit sales rupees 25,000, return inwards rupees 1,000, debtors rupees 3,000, bill receivables rupees 1,000. Debtor turnover ratio is equal to credit sales divided by average debtors is equal to 24,000 divided by 4,000 is equal to 6 times. This means average debtors are turned over 6 times during a year. Debtors turnover ratio is preferred higher. Debtors turnover ratio is preferred higher because it means that a company is managing its debtors efficiently. Low debtor turnover ratio implies inefficient management of debtors or less liquid debtors. Debtors turnover days ratio. Debtors turnover days ratio represents the average number of days for which a company has to wait before its debtors are converted into cash. It means the average number of days that it takes a customer to pay the company for sales on credit. Low debtor days are preferred. A short collection period employs prompt payment by debtors, whereas a long collection period employs too inefficient credit collection performance. The formula of debtors turnover days ratio is as follows. 360 multiply average debtors divided by credit sales. From our previous example, we will calculate the debtor turnover days as follows. 360 multiply by 4000 divided by 24,000 is equal to 60 days. It means that the company takes 60 days to convert its debtors into cash. If the company B takes 80 days to convert its debtor into cash, then the low debtor days should be better. Why low receivable days better? The benefits of having a low receivable days are as follows. Low bad debts. Low receivable days are better because in low receivable days, debtors will convert into cash quickly and there is a low chance of bad debts or the debtors become bankrupt. Cash availability. In low receivable days, debtors will convert into cash quickly, so the company will have a cash in hand which the company can invest elsewhere or use it to buy something or use it to pay their debts on time and get a cash discount or to pay their loans which result in low interest cost. The shortcomings of having a low receivable days are as follows. Lost sales due to customer shift. Low receivable days may result in lost sales because the customers may prefer a company with high receivable days, so they may shift towards the other company. Creditors or payable turnover ratio. Creditors turnover ratio measures how quickly a company is paying off its account payables to creditors. It indicates the number of times average creditors or payables are turned over during a year. The formula of creditors or payable turnover ratio is as follows. Creditor turnover ratio is equal to credit purchases divided by average creditors. Creditor turnover ratio is calculated by dividing the credit purchases by average creditors. Trade creditors include both sundry creditors and bill payables. Now we will illustrate the creditors or payable turnover ratio with example. Credit purchases rupees 30,000, creditors rupees 4,000, bill payable rupees 2,000. Creditor turnover ratio is equal to credit purchases divided by average creditors is equal to 30,000 divided by 4,000 plus 2,000 is equal to 30,000 divided by 6,000 is equal to 5 times. This means average creditors are turned over 5 times during a year. A higher creditors turnover ratio implies that the creditor being paid promptly, thus enhancing the credit worthiness of the company. But at the same time, this also shows that the business is not taking full advantage of credit facilities allowed by the creditors. Creditor turnover days ratio. Creditor days show the average number of days a company takes to pay suppliers. High creditor days are better. High creditor days are better because all the companies wish to conserve their cash. But if the company is taking too much days to pay its bills, for example taking 100 days or more, then it will be a company that has trouble generating cash. In the end, this company may have a trouble in obtaining their supplies. The formula of creditor turnover days ratio is as follows. 360 multiplied by average creditors divided by credit sales. From our previous example, we will calculate the creditor turnover days as follows. 360 multiplied by 6000 divided by 30,000 is equal to 72 days. It means that a company takes 72 days to pay to its suppliers. Why high creditor days better? The benefits of having a high creditor days are as follows. Cash availability. In the case of high creditor days, the company will have a cash in hand which it can invest elsewhere or can use on important places which the company need more. The shortcomings of having a high creditor days is as follows. Lost cash discount. In the case of high creditor days, the company may lose cash discount, which the company may get if it makes the payment early.